Have you ever wondered how calculus can actually predict the future? Hello everyone and welcome back to Math Chem SolveBox. Today we are going to look at an amazing real-world application of derivatives. We are stepping into the shoes of a city ecology researcher who has just released a rare bird species into a wildlife reserve. Our mission? We need to use calculus to figure out exactly when this bird population will hit its absolute maximum and what its ultimate fate will be in the long run. Stick around to the end because the mathematical reality of what happens to these birds is fascinating. Before we save the birds, let's look at our most powerful tool. The first derivative test. Think of the first derivative f-x as a diagnostic scanner for our population curve. If our derivative is greater than 0, we have a positive gradient, meaning our population curve is moving upward and growing. If it's exactly 0, the population has peaked or bottomed out. This is our stationary or turning point. And if it's less than 0, the gradient is negative and our population is decreasing. Keep this cheat sheet in mind. Let's dive into step 1, finding the rate of change. Our population model is f of x, which is product of two terms, x and negative exponential. To differentiate this, we have two different terms multiplied together, so we need the product rule of differentiation. We set equals x and v equals exponential function. The derivative of x is just 1, but derivative of negative exponential is negative times negative exponential. Using the product rule and putting it all together, we get our final derivative f-x. Great job. Now for step 2, we want to find the exact moment the population stops growing, our stationary point. We do this by setting our newly found derivative to 0. So negative exponential times 1 minus x equals to 0. Now here is a cool math fact. Exponential to the power of anything can never equal 0. So we can just cross that part right out. That leaves us with the very simple equation. 1 minus x equals 0, which means x equals 1. Our turning point occurs at exactly year 1. But wait, is year 1 a maximum or a minimum? We can't just guess. We have to prove it with step 3, the sign test. We check the intervals around our turning point. Because given exponential is always positive, the sign of our derivative is controlled entirely by 1 minus x. As x equals 1 is candidate for turning point, we divide the number line into two parts or intervals. One has all values of x between 0 and 1. We will ignore negative values of x because x here is time and time can never be negative. Other interval contains all x greater than 1 if we pick any time. Before year 1, between 0 and 1, let's say we select x equals 0.5 and plug in first derivative. Our derivative is positive, meaning the population is increasing. If we check a time after year 1, for example, our choice is x equals 2 and plug in again in first derivative, our derivative becomes negative, meaning the population is decreasing. This is known as first derivative test for Maxima and Minima. Wait, before you solve this exam question more, don't make this costly mistake. Every year, students lose easy marks by plugging different values of x into the function to decide whether it's increasing or decreasing. That's not what the examiner is looking for. The key is the sign of first derivative. The derivative tells you the function's gradient, and the gradient alone determines whether the function is increasing or decreasing. If you're not completely confident about why this works, I've explained the concept of gradients and derivatives in a separate video. Check out the link in the description and make sure you don't lose these easy exam marks. Since from left to right, our curve goes from increasing to decreasing at x equals 1, we have successfully confirmed a local maximum. You just use the first derivative test perfectly. After determining that the given population function attains its maximum at x equals 1, the next step is to calculate the value of this maximum. If we plug x equals 1 back into our original population equation, we get 1 times e to the power of minus 1, which equals roughly 0.368. Remember, our model measures in thousands, so our peak population is 368 birds. Here's another exam tip. After finding the turning point, stationary point, and nature of turning points means maxima or minima, substitute it into the original function to calculate the maximum. Now, for the big finale, step 5. What is the long-term fate of our birds as time stretches on to infinity? We have competing forces here. As time x grows, the factor e to the power of minus x decays towards 0. The mathematical reality is that exponential decay is much stronger than linear growth. So, the population rises to its peak at year 1 and then decays gradually toward 0, extinction, but it never technically becomes negative. Complete visual representation of bird's population model is here. And there you have it. If you want to achieve excellence in calculus, remember this checklist. Always state your increasing and decreasing intervals. Apply the first derivative test to classify your extrema. Translate your algebra into the geometry of the curve, and always justify your conclusions in full sentences. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so we can solve more calculus problems together. I'll see you in the next lesson.